understand where I came from because this is where I stand. Because I was tenacious enough to know that this is just a bump in the road. For those of you who are graduating and matriculating on and looking to start businesses, and people tell you the job market is getting smaller and smaller, then that just means that you have to think bigger and bigger and be even more creative about what you want to do with your life. It means that the want ads and those type of typical ways that you find jobs and opportunities just won't work. That means that you have to have conversations with the players who are here today because they understand what entrepreneurship is about, and they're always looking for people who will help build their business, who will help elevate their brand. You need to be in their faces, talking to them offline, online, whenever you can get to them, so that you are ahead of the game. Because that's part of the journey of being an enterprising entrepreneur. And I also share with them that in order to be successful in business, you have to love what you do. Some people say like. Well, you can like it, but I say love it. Love what you do, because then you can do it for the rest of your life. When people ask me, when am I going to retire? I say, for what? Why? I love what I do. I spend hours thinking about it. I'm in the shower thinking about the dip marketing, proposal that we're going to be putting forward. I think about the people whose lives that I impact and what joy it brings to them to work for a company that does things, that changes the way people conduct themselves in a professional environment. I think about the way that we impact the community with a lot of the supportive services that we offer. I don't want to stop doing this. I don't want to stop doing what I do, because I realize it's bigger than me, and that my whole core being knew a long time ago that I was meant to be an entrepreneur. And something inside you has obviously brought you here to tell you that you are meant to be an entrepreneur. And the beauty about where all of you stand is that being an entrepreneur is well within your reach. And for many of you, you have already achieved that. You are on the road to becoming the game changers of tomorrow. And that's fabulous. That is something so extraordinary to me, because you have access to so many resources that we once did. The access to the internet has totally changed the face of business. So what business will look like 5 and 10 years from now, my mind can't even begin to imagine. But I'm real comfortable knowing that Jessica and Brian and Fred and Tatiana and all of you are going to be a part of that formula. That makes me feel real good about my future and my children's future, because you are some of the brightest thinkers I have seen, and your energy is so powerful. I can just feel the synergy when I came into this room, and when I started talking to a lot of you and hearing the things that you've experienced and talking about the businesses that you all presented. I tell you, I just got so overwhelmed. And my gift is in writing and speaking, but my words fall short when I think about how you all will change the way we do business. And so, given that you have this gift, because it is a gift to be an entrepreneur, it comes with challenges, but it's a gift. And given that you will be the game changers of tomorrow, and I told you that you should love what you do, because when you love what you do, you build a career. You don't just have a job. That's a big difference. You have a career, you have an investment in your future, and you get to control what your future looks like. You get to balance how you do the personal and the professional. And yes, it's tricky. It is tricky. But you know, you have to speak that language to the people that you love so they understand that this is a gift, and if you weren't doing it, you'd be a miserable person. So I tell my husband all the time when I travel, I say, listen, this is what I have to do because I love doing it. And then now he understands. He says, baby, please go do it, because a miserable wife is not a fun thing for a man to have. When you love what you do, you will always work hard and remain open to learning. Entrepreneurs have to be lifelong learners. You have to always expose yourself to different things so that you understand what changes are happening in the environment of business. Because the one constant thing in your personal and professional life will always be change. That's the one constant thing. And I have a very good friend who runs the Savannah Entrepreneurial Center. And he does workshops for entrepreneurs and business owners on different subjects, that relate to how to start a business and grow a business, everything from marketing to accounting and all that kind of good stuff. And I just love him so very much because no matter where Charlie goes, he always talks about being this lifelong learner and keeping your mind open. And he says, the mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's open. So every time I see him, I know there's going to be his signature closing statement. But there's so much value to what he says that you have to remain open to all different types of people and experiences. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and I was a beach kid. And when I tell people that, they say, what? A beach kid? There's not even water in New York. There's no grass, dude. And I said, of course we do. Coney Island, there's a big ocean over there. And I grew up as a beach kid swimming every day. Then my mother moved me to Staten Island, where I went to all-girls Catholic school. And I was one of 2 African-American young women to attend that high school. And then I went on and I studied at New York University's Public Relations Institute and graduated from Hampton and decided that I wanted to travel overseas. I wanted to learn more about the Asian culture, and that's how I wound up in Seoul, South Korea, going to graduate school. And I will tell you, those experiences opened my mind because as business owners, you are servicing a very wide spectrum of customers. So you have to understand where they are coming from and what their needs are. And you can't do that staying in your same little box. So you have to expose yourself to different experiences and different people, because then you learn what the needs and habits are of your customers and how to better provide the services and the goods that keep them coming back. And when you love what you work, when you love what you do, it no longer becomes work. It's just a labor of love. It truly is. I look forward to getting up in the morning. I can't get into my office fast enough because I'm so excited about what's the next project that we're working on. I'm looking at who is it that we're going to pitch this new proposal to. And so when the recession came, and I shared with you that for some people it would be troubling. They would hit the panic button, sound the alarm. A lot of people got very, very nervous. And during the panel discussion, I said earlier that quick isn't always right. So as an entrepreneur, you have to learn the lesson of being slow and steady and evaluating the landscape in which you operate. And so the recession for us was a good thing because enterprising entrepreneurs, tenacious entrepreneurs, build new roads and resources to provide the services that they offer. One of the things that came as a result of this recession for us was that many of our private corporations that we provide services for started reducing their spending, and of course then our training services were reduced. And most of our customer base came from private corporations in Fort Stewart, Hunts Army area. And so that challenged us to look differently about who our customers are. And so we were able to negotiate an agreement with the local college through their Economic Development Office, where now we are the #1 service provider for all their corporate training services. Wow! I would have never thought about an academic institution in terms of being my customer if it wasn't for the recession. The other thing that happened for us, because we had to look for different customers and think out of the box, and sometimes what happens as an entrepreneur when you've been in business a long time, you get a little stagnant, you get a little stiff. You're not as creative as you used to be because things are moving very, very comfortably. So you're not as challenged. So for me, when difficulties come, to me they come to challenge you.